So episode 18 of Power Ranger Beast Morphers was a very interesting episode, and what happened in this episode was setting up for the finale of the season, because they sprinkled bits and pieces throughout the episode, setting up for the final two episodes we'll be getting in the upcoming weeks, because things are getting even more interesting, and I'm excited to see where this finale goes, and this episode set the pieces. So let's talk about episode 18 of Power Ranger Beast Morphers, Rewriting History. So the episode begins with Steel walking through the park, and he's admiring all the humans with pets, and he asks the other rangers, hey, is pets a common thing with humans? And they're like, it sure is. And he's like, can I have a pet? And they're like, well, we don't know if you can take care of a pet, Steel. It's a lot of responsibility, and you're already a ranger, so maybe later. And Steel's like, oh man, but I really want a pet. So Nate says, if you can take care of a potted plant for a week, I'll buy you that pet that you want. And Steel's like, deal, we'll do that. Which was a fun little thing. I do like Steel. Like, Steel has become one of my favorite characters throughout the season, ever since he was introduced in episode 8 or 9, I believe. Episode 8. And 9 just developed the character even more. Ever since we have Steel, and whenever it's a Steel-focused episode, it's always a blast because he's such a fun character to see on screen and hear the voice actor do the dialogue, even watching the suit do all the movement. He's a lot of fun to have on screen, Steel. So Steel gets a potted plant and he plans on taking care of it. Meanwhile, while this is all going on, Vogel says, my plan is ready to go into motion, which if you don't remember last week's episode, Vogel put this weird looking device on the satellite tower of the TV station and goes, next week my plan will go into motion, and this week his plan went into motion. Which, if you saw the synopsis or you read my synopsis where I talked about him, Vogel's plan is to rewrite the entire city's memory, including the Rangers and Grid Battle Force, and they're going to forget that the Rangers were ever Rangers. So what his plan basically is, he's going to say that Devon and Zoe never became Rangers, and it was Blaze and Roxy that became the Yellow and Red Ranger, which was a really cool thing when they did the rewriting memory sequence, because we get to see Kobe and Liana in the red and yellow Beast Morpher suits, and I gotta say, it was definitely gonna be my thumbnail as soon as I saw that moment. So spoilers for that big spoilery thumbnail in the video, but as soon as I saw it I was like, I have to make this my thumbnail. And we actually get to see Kobe and Liana in the red and yellow Beast Morpher suits, and that was really cool. I was hoping we would see more of that throughout the episode, but that little sequence was really freaking cool that they did, and I kind of wish we got to see more of it, but unfortunately we don't. And what their plan is, they are just tricking everyone at Grid Battle Force, saying, hey, Blaze and Roxy never became evil, they were good guys all along, so this gives them the perfect chance to sneak in and grab a bunch of shit for the cyber dimension, so Evox can finally get his body back, which is what we're building towards because there's only 2 episodes left. But while Blaze and Roxy are sneaking around where everyone thinks they're good, there's this one scene where they walk into Nate's lab, and Roxy goes into the room where their original bodies are in the unconscious state. They're in the Futurama freezing tube, and they're out cold. And she goes, I've got a little something planned for future episodes. And Roxy plugs this USB stick into the USB port of the freezer tube, which is very surprising. I'm surprised they have USB ports in those freezer tubes. I wonder if anyone's used them to charge their phone or their PlayStation controller in them. Who knows? I don't know why it has a USB port. It just left me wondering, why does it have that? It looks cool though. I'm not going to question it any further because it's going to move forward in the plot. Anyway, she puts in the USB port while the other Rangers get the mega transporters, whatever they are. They have a lot of Morphex in them compared to the other transport or the other devices that Nate's called. I don't remember their names. They're called transporter something devices, but it's big blue cubes that are pretty freaking big. So that's so Blaze and Roxy can steal them, and at the end of the episode it says that Evox is going to move forward to his next plan. Anyways, I'm jumping around the place with this review, so We've got Steel and Devon, they're out getting a plant, and Devon wakes up from the memory loss and he's like, huh, what am I doing? Why is there a robot over there? Anyways, so Devon freaks out because he's talking to a robot and he's like, who are you? How do you know my name? Why are you following me? So Devon can't remember being a Power Ranger, and I was hoping we'd see Devon be that careless, like, guy that we saw him in episode 1, not too careless, but he wants to like have fun and do whatever he wants. I was hoping we'd see more of that, like the Rangers going back to what they were doing before they joined Grid Battle Force. We sort of get it with Zoe, where Zoe wakes up from the device and she's like, hey, I'm not supposed to be in the lab with you, Nate, I work in laundry. And then throughout the episode, whenever you see Zoe in the background, she's pushing that laundry basket around, which was a fun little note. I'm glad they like stayed true to that little detail about the character before the series actually started. You see Zoe pushing around the laundry basket and she's not even questioning it because this is what she was doing before everything happened, so it was a nice little touch like that. So Devon and Steel, they're running around and they go to Grid Battle Force, and Ben and Betty are like, hey, why are you wearing those Morphers? Did you steal them? And Devon hands it over to Blaze and Roxy, Ben and Betty, and Steel's like, I'm not giving you mine, deploy my hand. So his hand gets deployed and distracts him, but Steel loses his Morpher as well. And after that, they run around the corner and Vogel shows up, and Vogel starts kicking the crap out of Steel while Steel is trying to defend his plant that he's holding onto, his cute little plant that he named Spot. So as this is going on, Steel is getting his butt kicked because he wants to defend the plant, and Devon's getting thrown around because he can't remember how to fight properly. But as the plant is falling down, Devon rushes in and remembers. He doesn't remember, his body just reacts to running really fast with the super speed. So after Devon catches the house plant, Steel says, hey, you can move really fast, you must be a Power Ranger, see, I told you. And Devon's like, hey, I guess you're right, if I've got powers like these, what do I need to do next? And Steel goes, you need the Morphers. So Devon runs really fast, he steals the Morphers off Ben and Betty, he takes them, he morphs, and Steel and Devon go on to the next phase of their plan, going to the TV station and taking out the frickin' device that Vogel planted. And unfortunately, the Rangers are unable to shoot it or climb it, so Steel goes, I'm part human and part robot, I'll climb the tower. And as Steel goes up each step of the ladder, he's getting electrocuted, he's slowly killing himself, but Steel manages to save the day and destroys the device at the cost of his own life for the next 5 minutes of the episode. Meanwhile, while this is going on, Vogel and Devon face off, and this is one really freaking cool fight because the only thing that Vogel can do during this fight is use his super cheetah speed. So this is just one giant battle of the speeds because they're just running around the hallway. I don't know if this was Sentai footage because a lot of people told me that the suit they used for Vogel was someone who faces off against the Red Ranger. He's sort of like the rival character for the episode for the Red Go Buster, and he gets destroyed in one episode. So I don't know if this was a Sentai footage fight scene or not. It seemed like it because they used a lot of close-ups and a lot of slow close-ups and stuff like that, and the fight scene seemed really freaking crazy. So maybe this was Sentai footage. I'm sure someone will tell me in the comment section down below, but the thing with Beast Morphers, it's half original, half Sentai, and they film it like shot for shot, making it seem really close to the footage, so who knows if this actually was original footage. If I'm wrong, someone will tell me in the comment section. If I'm right, someone won't correct me in the comment section, who really knows. So after Vogel is destroyed in a really cool fight scene, the Rangers' memories are restored, and I gotta say, during that fight scene with Vogel, when Vogel is calling for help saying, Scrozzle, I need more Morphex, and Scrozzle's like, I'm sending it right, and as he's about to do that, Blaze and Roxy take the Morphex saying, oh, without this, he can't win, and Scrozzle's like, hey, if you do that, oh, I see, he doesn't even intervene. It's like, he also wanted to screw over Vogel as well, which was kind of interesting, but Vogel is out of the picture. I was hoping he'd stick around for a lot longer, but Vogel is gone. They used up all the footage, he's destroyed. They could probably bring him back if they've got the costume lying around in stock somewhere, since They used a lot of original Vogel fight scenes. Who knows what's going on, but Vogel is gone, unfortunately, and I'm gonna miss him. He was a cool villain while he lasted. So the Rangers get their memories back right in front of Blaze and Roxy as they're loading the special transporter devices that I talked about at the start of the review into the car. And Blaze and Roxy, they just vamoose out of there like, oh, they got their memories back, we got what we need, we're going to teleport away with these special devices. So everyone's got their memories back, and unfortunately Steel is unconscious and Nate is really sad. And the episode does trick you, but you know everything's going to be okay. It's like, is Steel gonna recover? Is Steel gonna make it through? But Steel does make it through. He's revived at the end after the Gigadrone is destroyed, and they get Steel that pet after all. So Steel gets his puppy after all, and there's one thing I really did enjoy about Steel getting his puppy, with the consistency of the writing. The doggy is licking Devon's face, and as it's licking Devon's face, Devon's like frozen up, and it's like, oh yeah, we forgot that you freak out when you see dogs, Devon, I'm sorry. And as they walk away, Devon is not seen on screen for the next scene. He keeps his distance because of his cheetah DNA. He doesn't like dogs, so he's really freaking out. He's like walking off screen, he's like keeping his distance. You can see him hovering around in the background, and as Steel's walking his brand new dog, a little girl walks up to him. It's like, oh, I really like this puppy. We went to the shelter and they had no puppies. And Steel goes, little girl, do you really want this dog? And she goes, yes. And Steel goes, too bad, it's mine, I'm keeping it. No, that's not real. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. Steel goes, hey little girl, you can have my dog because I can't take care of it because I'm too busy in life and it's too much responsibility for me, so please have it. And he hands over the dog to the little girl, and the little girl walks off into the sunlight, into the sunset, all happy, and everything's all good. And as she walks off and they're waving goodbye to the brand new friend they just made for the brief few seconds, Devon walks on screen, which, like I said earlier, he's too scared to be around dogs. So I do like that moment where as soon as the little girl with her dog walks off screen, Devon walks onto screen and he's like, hey guys, what's going on? I'm glad things worked out for everyone. So that was a cool little touch of stuff they did there. So anyway guys, that was my review of episode 18 of Power Ranger Beast Morphers. This was a really fun Steel focused episode, and we're getting closer and closer to the finale. So even though we had a Steel focused episode that seemed like filler, it wasn't really a filler episode because certain stuff is being placed in favor of the finale, little sprinkles of plot details as we get closer and closer to the finale. And I cannot wait until we get there because this episode was a lot of fun and I really did enjoy it. So tell me what you guys thought of the episode in the comment section down below. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. So I'll catch you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys around. Peace out.